Hello YouTube. Today I'll be doing a review on the new Spore Creatures game that was just released for the iPhone and iPod Touch. It's a continuation of the Spore Origins game that was released about a year ago, and it takes you to the creature stage, whereas the last game was just the cell stage. So you've got several options here at the main menu. You've got the play, which will just launch you into the main game. You've got the My Creatures, which lets you look at all your creatures, how long you've played, and other stats about your game. You've got More Games, which will send you to a list of EA Games, which is the developer of this app. You've got the Options, which is the game options, and you've got the Help, which will provide you with help on different topics that you might be having trouble with in the game. So I'm not going to get started on the game just yet. I'm going to start with the My Creatures. And so you can see that in this screen, you've got a list of all the creatures. Right now I only have one open. And you've got a couple options there. If you have it selected, then you can choose to edit your creature, which will take you to this loading screen. And you'll go into the creature editor, which I'll go into more depth about later. But you can also, back at the creatures screen, you can also delete. And it'll ask you if you're sure. Click no. And then it also has these stats about your DNA score, your game time, your evolution phase, and your achievements. So that's at the My Creatures screen. Then you've got the More Games screen, which opens up a nice cover flow view of all of EA Games' other iPhone and iPod apps. And if you see one that you like, then you can tap on it to look at a screenshot. Or you can tap the Add to Cart button, which will take you to the App Store and open up this app. So we'll just hit back for now. And then in the options, you've got the tutorial on or off for when you start a new game, the sound effects volume, the music volume. And to explain this one, I'll have to tell you that the new way to control your creature in this app is to use the accelerometer to tilt your device around, and the more you tilt it in a direction, the more your creature will run that way. So this option is Set Relative Tilt Angle, which is where all the tilts will be measured from. And down at the bottom you've got the music player, which allows you to play your own songs in the app. I really love it when apps do this, so that's a definite plus for me on this app. And then also you've got the Help, which just gives you different help on these 4 topics. This last one isn't really a topic, it's basically just the credits. But it'll give you help on the evolution, the creature creator, and the controls. It basically gives you a pretty long article explaining all the features of that specific item. So that's these 4 options. And then in the play, it'll ask you if you started a game, it'll ask you if you want to continue it. For this review, we'll click yes. And then you just have to wait for it to load. And you'll come to this screen. One thing that's different about this Spore game from other Spore games is that you have sort of stages that you go through. You can see that as we walk around, it has the title for each, how many DNA points it has, and how many, I believe that's how many new creature parts it has. And at the center, in some stages there will be nests, as well as at the center of each set of stages. So if you tap on the nest, then it'll go into the creature creator. And this is this. So you've got 4 options down at the bottom, and each of those 4 options has a few different settings up at the top. The first one is color, which is just the color of your creature. And so, as you tap on different colors, it'll change the color, obviously. Sort of a texture. And you can see that it changes the texture like lining color and extra parts color. So, that's, you could have a lot of different options about the color that you want it to be. And then this is the parts. You've got 5 different types of parts. You've got offensive, defensive, movement, perception, and social. In offensive, you've got stuff that attacks, that you can attack with, obviously. And in defensive, you've got stuff that will defend, you've also got arms, and then in movement, you've got the legs, and like this part will give you, it'll give you other stuff that affects your movement abilities. And then this is stuff that that helps you detect other things, or eyes allow you to see. And then social is stuff that improves your social status. So to drag a part on, you just tap and hold and drag it. And you have to hover your finger over the body for it to detect that it's on. And then when you want to have it on the spot you want, you just release and it'll go on. You can also move parts around by, this is more difficult in my opinion, you have to grab the part on the right or at the center. You have to grab the part on the right or at the center for it to move. You can't. And one thing is that it's sort of annoying when you accidentally pull it off. It's, in my opinion, a little bit too easy to accidentally do that. So we'll drag that back on. And so the creature creator is pretty useful, but like I said, sometimes it's a little hard to use. Sometimes it's a little confusing to drag stuff around and move stuff. So, but overall I think they did a pretty good job of converting it from the computer version. So up here you have your stats, which you can tap on, and you can see how many out of 5 you have for your creature. And then you can tap on the question mark to get even more info. So just tap the check mark and tap it again to close it. And then you've got the body shape. And this is all the different shapes you can have on your body. So there's lots of different kinds. It's not too customizable, but there's enough, I think, that you will find something that you like. So if you see something that you like, you can also then change it by either squishing or pulling, and then you can also grab a part and pinch or squeeze to make it bigger or smaller, like that. So that additional customizable option is pretty nice in my opinion. And then you've also got the randomize thing. It'll ask you, are you sure if you want to randomize? Will it? No. And then you've also got the revert, which will revert it to your last version. So that's the creature creator. And now on to the next part. So as you get more DNA points by eating other creatures, you'll evolve to the next level. It's very similar to the computer version, but the overall feel, in my opinion, of this app just seems different. It's not quite the same method that you use to get more DNA points, and you only advance to the creature stage, so it's not quite the same. But you can see here that we've got more stages, and you have to unlock them by going through the previous one. And here's another nest. So this is a pretty good app. It's a great adaptation from the computer version, and it's $7, which seems a little overpriced to me. I think they could have made it a little cheaper, but it's got a lot of good graphics, and the creature creator can be a little hard to use, but overall it's a good app, and I would recommend downloading it. I think it's a reasonable price, but it could be a little lower. But thanks for watching, and please subscribe.